Hello, good night. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharp. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. Happy Friday night. I hope you're looking forward to a rested or productive weekend. Today, I just want to focus on questions. Of course, what we do here is we help clients to be able to stay here in the U.S., get their papers. And yes, even if you're here without your papers, even if you've overstayed, there are ways. Yes, even with everything that you see going on in the news, the headlines, there are still ways. And that's exactly what we focus on. We focus on solutions. We focus on getting our clients the legal ability to live and work here by getting work permits and ultimately the green card here in the United States. So, what I say is take action, be proactive. Even if at this stage you have the fear, you have your doubts, don't don't give up on yourself. Give us a call. Let's talk about what your situation is, how we can help you, and then get started right away. Now, the number, you will see the number in the topics section of this video. So I know a lot of people ask, and I don't have it on the screen. So you can go ahead and call the number, but keep in mind, you follow me, you'll see it all over my videos as well. Let's get to questions. I want to get to questions ASAP. So tonight, I'm going to start on Instagram, then YouTube, then TikTok. Put your YouTube and Facebook. So put your questions in the comments and you'll see me looking one way. That's because I'm looking at another platform. But my goal is to get to each platform and then scroll through and catch up on questions. So put your questions in the comments. And I am really, really happy that tonight is my fifth night. So I've made it all the way through this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I am hoping to keep that up for the next couple of weeks and months, as long as it takes, so that everybody can continue to get updates and information as the days and the weeks go by. All right. So questions. I've been talking to a girl over the phone. What if we get married in September? If she's a US citizen, then that's going to be a good step. But get in touch with us, talk to us, and let's figure out your options. Keep in mind that there's no room for error now. And this is not about big scare tactics. I am honestly concerned about anybody who is trying to go through this process without legal representation. And that's because any simple mistake can result in a notice to appear because they have now a room. So if they deny or reject your application, now they say, okay, you don't have any application pending because we've denied your application or we've rejected your application. It wasn't properly filed. So now we're going to just hurry up swiftly, send a notice to appear, which doesn't mean all hope is lost, but it definitely does throw a wrench in the process. How long does it take when your VAWA is approved and you submit your medical? So I would say anywhere from 4 months to even up to a year to get that green card next. How does the age-old process work for a family-based petition? So there are different formulas, and I know they just updated the age-old policies, so I have to go look at those to see what that looks like. But in general, there are certain calculations that you have to make, and it depends on what category you're in. So, for example, if you're the immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, there is no as long as you filed before the child turned 21, that age is frozen, no matter how much time goes by. But with other categories, it really now comes down to the date the petition is approved and the priority date becomes current. And then there's a process where you have to take that time period and then subtract it from the age of the child from 21, I believe, and then based on that they can tell, or the current age, this minus that portion of time from the current age of the child, and that's going to tell them whether they've aged out or not. Because if they subtract that time period and it goes below the age of 21, it means that it freezes. They're still under the age of 21, even though in reality they're not. So, it really, really depends though on what category you're in. So if you're concerned about the aging out, which I definitely say it's important to make sure that you understand whether there's some urgency in filing, because if they're gonna age out, you want to get on it right away. All right. I did my interview and got my I-130 approved on the spot, but as soon as I was to sign for the I-485, as USCIS system was down, now it has been more than 2 months. Is there anything I can do? You can get in touch and put in an inquiry. Usually they have up to 4 months, so you can put in an inquiry. Just make sure that you bring it to their attention that that still hasn't been processed. You Do the children to go for fingerprints after they return 14 years old, even if they have fingerprints last year based on the new rules? Yes, so no matter, no, if they have fingerprints because they've applied for adjustment of status, so there are certain applications that if you're applying for those applications already, you don't need to go and do this fingerprinting again. So it depends here. And, you can always call us and talk to us about that. We have a special space available for people who need advice on whether they need to register. But if there are certain applications already pending, like an adjustment of status, then you don't have to do that. You don't have to register. How does the age out process? I answered that. How long does it take when your VAWA is approved? So I answered that. Um, I applied for asylum in March. I know I need to wait for a year to apply, but it's been like 5 months. Can I submit the application now and be approved for a green card after a year? No. So if you applied for asylum in March, you need to be approved for asylum before you can get to the green card. So that may take even years. Some asylum takes years. So keep that in mind. Asylum first, then green card. How can someone get a work permit after student F1 visa? So there are policies and limitations on the work permit when it comes to being a student. There is one exception where if you're facing exceptional hardships, they may allow you to get a work permit. But other than that, you're really not allowed to work in the first year. And then work is limited during the school years, and then you may be able to use some OPT time for work during the summers. But the bulk of that is you'll want to do is take that year for OPT time after you finish your program. So it's limited, and it really comes down to your circumstances to determine whether you should pursue a work permit. And you can also talk to your DSO about that as well, the designated student officer. How do I get a green card? So there are multiple ways. It just depends on what you qualify for. That's exactly why we do a free initial evaluation to see if there's a green card process we can help you with. And that's why it's so important to do an appointment, because so many of my clients who are my clients now did not know that they had the kind of path that they did to get to the green card. And so it's so important not to just think that you know it all, or think that you've exhausted all avenues. Because yes, there are lawyers like me that do ask the important questions that get to alternative solutions. So give us a call. Let's see if what options are available out there. Now we're 24/7, so you can call us anytime. You can call us 3 in the morning if you're thinking about your immigration situation. And of course, with your permission, we can talk to you at 3 a.m. We have a team that is dedicated to clients as well as those who do need assistance. And to make sure we're addressing needs as soon as possible. All right, so now I'm moving over to YouTube and Facebook. So put your questions in. Hi, good night. Good night there. Hi, good night. How long after receiving your work permit renewal receipt notice does it take for them to send out the work permit card? Unfortunately, you're looking at about 6 months to 12 months. EAD correction, how many months will take? I got already the receipt number. So keep in mind that I can't give you a precise time. That really is, something that happens at the USCIS. But based on my experience, any type of corrections that you're dealing with, you're looking at about 6 months to get that. 6 months, six, even up to 12 months. Um, what is the meaning of the correspondence letter for T bona fide in your case? Give you EAD. Thank you and God bless. Thank you. So the bona fide determination is a very important letter that is granted to those applying for T visas that qualify. You properly file, you've passed a background check, then you're able to get protection. It even says that there is a stay of removal, meaning that they are not going to make any moves to remove you as long as you have this bona fide determination letter, and then they issue a work permit afterwards. So yeah, you are the work permits, though I noticed so what's happening right now, unfortunately, but keep in mind, don't let it stop you from moving forward with that process. That's going to help you protect you in the future. But what's happening now is we're seeing receipt notices take anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 months. Then about 2 to 3 months after that, bona fide determination letter comes. Then about 4 to 6 months after that, the work permit comes. So that's how we're seeing the timeline going. But our clients who have done this and gotten everything, they're very happy right now, and they're very calm, protected, reassured because they know that they have protection at the same time that they have a chance to get a longer term protection and then permanent residence here. What's the difference to respond to an RFE between mailing and upload on the online account? Which one is better? So it really depends on what your case looks like. I wouldn't want to say which is better, just because it could depend. Maybe it might be better to respond by mail. The both get to the location. I would say that with the RFE, when you upload it online, you know that they've gotten it when you upload it online. But you can also track it by mail. So, at this point, it really comes down to what are the circumstances in your particular case that would warrant mail versus uploading it. Um, and in some cases, I've mailed it, and if I do have access to upload it, I upload it at the same time. My RFE was returned. I got a new one and I sent it, and it was received, and I got another RFE to do my biometrics in June. How much longer do you think to go for my green card? So it depends on what the case type is. I'm not sure what your case type is. It was for the medical. Then biometrics case was already approved from last year. So Yeah, I got approved work permit through VAWA, but no approved I-131 because my illegal entry. So you got approved for the work permit. So you're at the stage and then they ask for the medical. So it sounds like your VAWA was approved because now they're asking for the medical, which means your adjustment of status is being processed. No, they want the biometrics. So I would say, based on my experience, about four, you could see 4 months, and it can even go as long as a year. And in some cases, before they make a final decision, they may call for an interview. I've had two instances where, we had still had to go in for an interview. The interviews were super easy. But they just scheduled the interview because they wanted to check some things before they actually did their approval. Hi there, Karen. It's always nice to see you. Do you see things speed up at the beginning of the new fiscal year? No, I'm not counting on anything speeding up. As a matter of fact, things are going to slow down and they're already slowing down. How long does it take for another initial interview when the first one was rescheduled? It depends on the service center. Okay, so and James, I just talked about the VAWA. So, the great thing is you have an approved VAWA. They ask for the medical. So, and now they're asking for biometrics. So you should have your final approval in within, I would say within the next year. All right, so now I'm going on to TikTok. Hello, friends on TikTok. It's nice to see you. Happy Friday. I'm gonna go through these questions. My prima facie determination letter is already expired for 6 months. I have to renew or not. They will send an automatic renewal. So you don't have to do anything. Sometimes if it's taken very long, I've reached out. So we as lawyers have a special hotline that we can use to communicate with the unit about any questions that we have. And sometimes I've reached out there and then we've gotten another copy of the prima facie send. If a person has a work permit but is afraid to go in for the SSN, what to do? If you have a work permit, you can go for the social. Don't be afraid. You have the work permit. And that is, really a good head start on getting protection. You present a work permit, it means you have permission to be here right now. But when you're going for work, it really isn't complete until you get the SSN. So go get your SSN. No need to fear. From your experience, how long does it take for them to approve your case after your interview? I'd say 1 day to, 1 day. I've seen it go as long as 1 day to even a year and a half for more complex situations. I'm on order of supervision and I file for I-36C, and if it's approved, I need the weather. So I'm not sure. I can't understand that sentence. And his cancellation of deportation was accepted. What is the next with that? So if it was approved, cancellation of removal in court, then the next is moving forward with a green card process. So you'd be able to get your work permit while you wait for the green card to be processed. Is that okay if I file tax marriage but separately because it's time for me to file I-751? That may be a question. No, keep in mind it is your right, based on tax advice, to file married, filing separately. That's fine. It doesn't mean you're separated. It just means that it's the best tax strategy for you. But they may ask those questions. Now, what I would say is if you cannot apply jointly with your spouse to to go from the 2 year to the 10 year, that's where you have to consider a waiver. And it's essential to apply for the waiver. If you think you can just apply without the spouse involved, or you get their signature, but then they don't get involved for the rest of the way, there's a disaster coming. We help clients to get through this process smoothly and successfully. So get in touch with us. It's more crucial than ever because any mistakes on the going from the 2 year to the 10 year can place you in removal, which gets just a lot more stressful and uncertain. My I-130 has been approved, but my wife filed for divorce and I don't know what to do. Get in touch with us. I was just talking about this very scenario because they have just issued policy updates. It's a part of the updates I've been telling you about, that if there is any change like that where your spouse filed for divorce and the I-130 has been approved, they can turn around and still revoke that petition based on that change. So it's crucial now that you get in touch with us. We want to find out what was happening and to see what your alternative options could be. For example, if your spouse mistreated you, then you could switch to VAWA, and that would keep your process going and to ensure that you do get to the green card. So get in touch with us. That's quite urgent because they do find this in public record, and when they do, they can revoke the I-130 petition and then send for removal. Keep in mind that's now this part of their process is the minute they see an opportunity, they're gonna send it to removal. Can I make an appointment with you for VAWA? Absolutely. That's what we do. Get in touch. You can call right now. Get the number. Number is listed at the top of the comment section and also on all my videos. And you can go link in profile. You can go to the website. You can call from there, or you can use that number. Call and our office will get you on our schedule. We are filling up very quickly, so time is of the essence to make sure you get on our schedule. How long are you seeing receipt notice, at least from a visa application? Same was submitted, T visa, so 4 months. That's what we're seeing right now. How long after sending T visa application to USCIS Nebraska, you get a receipt notice? 4 months, about 4 months now. All right. So I see all questions here. I think I've answered. My 2 year green card expired, applied to remove conditions. I've waited forever for my new card. Yeah, it does take an average of 4 years now, but you do get a 4 year extension, so you're still a green card holder while you wait. My I-130 was denied because of lack of evidence, and I applied for appeal. How long it takes? It could take another year for the appeal to be processed. Can I petition for my overage married child? I'm a US citizen. Will I be able to adjust this status? This is a good question, and I think it's very important to pause here because I think this category of individuals are going to be the people that are going to be most at risk. Now, this category of individuals are those who are over the age of 21, overstayed, and they have a US citizen. They have a US citizen or even a permanent resident parent. That US citizen or permanent resident parent sponsors their child, files the I-130. The thing about it is the process is not it's not fast. It's not a quick solution. It's a 5 to 7 year process. File the I-130 first, and then in 5 to 7 years, they send it to the embassy in your country because the child or the adult child overstayed. It means that they don't qualify for adjustment of status. And because of that, while the petition is pending, they remain unprotected, right? That's the difference here. Is not everybody is going to be, not everybody that files family petitions are going to be referred to deportation, But if you are unable, if you're here, you've overstayed, it's going to be a long time until you can, your case is going to be processed because you don't qualify for adjustment of status. That's where the risk is. So I would say, while I would say this, that if the petition isn't going to work, we need to look at other options. We also help clients to determine alternative options. We've had cases like this where we found alternative options to still be able to get relief. So this is where I say, don't give up and say, oh no, that was my last chance, because you may not be thinking about the legal solutions that we have pursued and that we've gotten for our clients. So I'm glad you brought that up. And, please take note of this, because that is the group of individuals that I think will be at high risk for if you're here, you file an I-130 petition, you're 21 or over, you've overstayed, that's where the highest risk is going to be. It's okay to travel with your travel document. It depends. Is the green card for asylees still on pause? So they have released new policy guidance about the kind of screening they're going to do. So I believe they are going to move forward with that screening. And there's also litigation there that's limiting their ability to pause it, but they're going to go forward with it, but they're going to be doing very stringent screening and an interview process again. So my prima facie determination letters, okay, so I answered that. Let me see, I'm trying to get to the more. What just came in? What was it about 21 and over? So I think this is very important to repeat, because the headlines in the news has been saying things like family members who filed petitions will be referred, or could be referred, even spouses of US citizens. Anybody can be at risk, of course, for referral. If you make a mistake in your case and they deny your case, they can refer it. But here's the other thing is, if the people who I think will most likely be getting those notices to appear are the individuals who are 21 or older. You have a US citizen or permanent resident parent and or permanent resident spouse here who's petitioned for you. You have overstayed, meaning you're given, say up to 6 months. You may have been given 2 weeks. You may have been given 4 months. You have a maximum of 6 months when you enter on your visa, or you could have come on any kind of visa and you stayed beyond the time you were allowed. Then that means that you're now here without status. Then those people that filed a petition, once they look at that and they determine that there's no adjustment of status, there's nothing that's protecting you from removal, they can issue a deportation notice to appear. And the reason why this is almost certain to happen is because these individuals do not immediately qualify for adjustment of status upon filing for an I-130 petition. Now, here's what I say, because I'm focused on solutions. This is where when there are situations like this, now this was not the case before, but I do know that now it's going to be a risk. So advising individuals, we now have to say you need to make sure that one, you qualify for adjustment of status while you're filing the petition, because it's the adjustment of status application that's going to give you that temporary protection while your case is going forward. If you don't qualify to submit your adjustment of status application, then you could very well get a notice to appear if you've overstayed or entered the country without permission. So this is where you definitely talk to an attorney. That's what we're here to do. We're helping. And we not only look at that, we not only say, oh no, you don't qualify. I'm so sorry. We also look at the whole picture for you to determine whether there are alternative options that you did not think about, because that's what we focus on. We focus on solutions that not a lot of attorneys ask about or consider. How long from that approved we're going to hear from them? So I don't know if approved for what. If you're approved for the petition, approved for adjustment of status, it depends. Um, if you just do biometrics, the interview scheduled before 4 weeks after, should that be a concern? Um, just be prepared. Here's what I say. I say an interview is an opportunity. You want that interview. And I mean, we wish it could have been waived, right? We wish that was the case. But here's the deal. Now, to get to the end, you need to get through that interview. And so it's about you have the earliest opportunity, right? And so that is where you need to make sure that you prepare for that interview so that when you go into that interview, you can be successful. We just won an asylum case, and this is truly a unicorn, which I hope we get more of. But we filed for our client's asylum in May. Our client got called to an interview in July. And we could have looked at it that way, right? Why asylum cases take a long time? Is it that is our client gonna be a target here, right? But we did not look at it that way. It's an opportunity. They're being called in for that final interview. We need to make sure that they understand why our client qualifies for this relief. And that's exactly what happened. So our client now has asylum 3 months in. So your interview is an opportunity. I just submitted my citizenship application, but my green card expires next month. Please help. So, what I would suggest is go still do a renewal because you want to walk around with the most current green card and you'll get an extension. So, apply for a renewal, get in touch with us. We can help you with this, of course, but get a renewal. And then while your citizenship application is pending, you still have your green card renewal processing at the same time. Is it easy for people who didn't use the CBP app or who don't have kids or a spouse to win asylum? Not necessarily. They have to show that they meet very specific requirements, but that could be an option for them. Can asylee without parole marry someone in the military? So if they don't have parole, and it depends on how they enter the country, if you enter the country without permission, there may be parole in place option. So give us a call. Let's talk more and get to a solution. I came to the USA as a fiance. I had 2 years green card. It expired. I have I-751. Can I travel? If you have an extension letter showing you continue to be a green card holder, then travel. You can still travel. Can I get a waiver if I was denied entry? The case was that I work side jobs, but my visa is OCS. Um, it a waiver could be an option. It just depends. I just got my work permit. Is it safe to go in for an SSN at this time? Yes, go for that work SSN. Now, I don't know you. I'm not your attorney. I don't know your case, and I don't know why you're nervous about that. It would be helpful to know that, and it's actually you need to understand that it's your life, your future, and you need to reach out for help if you're very scared to go in. But generally, you get a work permit, you do go to the SSN to get your social. It should not be a problem. If mom's VAWA is denied and she filed for her son too, so his son's VAWA will be denied too. If the son didn't file a separate VAWA, then yes, if they're a derivative, if they file separately, it will be decided separately. How much is the consultation? $150. Is my criminal background check an automatic denial? No. Is any criminal background? No, not any. It depends. And this is where I say if you have an offense in your background, it's very important to make sure that you are getting that evaluated. All right. So I'm just gonna hop back to Instagram and then I'll go Facebook, YouTube, and then head out. And then we'll recharge for the weekend and come back for Monday. So I'm aiming to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So follow, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so others can see this information that can empower them through this immigration journey, but also so that you can see when I hop on live and you can jump on as well. All right. Is it possible to schedule an appointment with you to ask further questions? Absolutely no. What you should know is that this law firm here is a large law firm. I am, of course, the owner. I'm the driver of this law firm. I'm the strategist here. I'm the managing attorney here. However, I have a number of attorneys that work very closely with me, that we all share the same mission, and they are going to talk to you. So schedule the appointment and talk. And of course, when I say let's talk, I'm meaning talk to me, talk to the team about your case. So go ahead, schedule. You can call at any time. You can call right now. There is someone, we do have team members who are picking up the phone to make sure that you're taken care of. So at any point that you need help, just give us a call. Please, any update on the religious workers EB4? No. Is it safe to travel with the US within the US with the work permit as long as it's current and valid? Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. Helping immigrants, definitely, who have contributed so greatly to this country. Thanks for your hard work. Can a green card holder be an affidavit of support? Yes, they can. Um, what are the risks if I have overstay on my work permit? So if you don't have any other options to pursue legal status, then you could be placed in removal. Give us a call. Let's explore why that is, what your circumstances is, to see if there's an option. I'm in a relationship 8 months now. He's saying him not getting married, but willing to help me. There's no other way. So get in touch with us. Let's talk to figure out what's going on. I want to talk to you because we have found options, but we need to figure out your circumstances. Call us. Let's talk. I lost my naturalization certificate. Do I need to renew? Do I need it to renew my passport? Yes. You're likely going to need it to renew that passport. How long does it take to get VAWA approved? So 3 years, you do get your work permit in most cases while you wait. How long after green card via VAWA can my child in Jamaica join me? So afterwards, they're gonna send the approved petition to the embassy in your home country, and then I would say based on wait times there, you're looking at maybe another year and a half for an interview. if everything goes smoothly. How to get work permit after studying. Okay, so I answered that. All right, that's gonna be it from me, everybody. Thank you so much. Let me see. Is it okay if I file tax marriage but separately? Because it may raise questions. But it is as long as you have a valid explanation. How long does it take for I-601 waiver to be approved? You're looking at about 2 years. All right. Have a good weekend, guys. Rest up, stay positive, walk with faith, and know that here at SC Law Office, we're focused on solutions. So we never just say no off the bat. We make sure we explore all possible available avenues for you. And so this is why you should reach out. Remember, the stakes are a lot higher now. It's so crucial to make sure you're doing everything correctly and not taking any unnecessary risk when you're applying. Give us a call. We would be glad to help. We are 24/7. We help clients in all 50 states and the globe. So go ahead, like, subscribe, follow, share, hit the notification bell. That is how you're going to see when I come on Monday, where I can answer more questions. Thanks so much again, guys, for your time. See you on Monday. Bye bye.